So the other day, I thought about liminal space and burnout and how they might relate to each other in terms of working. Things that came to mind were both have a feeling of being stuck, and with liminal spaces, there is a sense of nostalgia, but that can also be depressing if you're thinking too much about the past. And with depression, that also can be related to feeling burnt out. So I'd like to dive a bit more into these as I've experienced both, and maybe you'll identify if you've experienced either or currently are. So I'm actually going to try something different with this video, so you won't be seeing this lovely face as much. I'm actually going to be trying a voiceover. And while I don't have photos of Burnout, I do have some cool liminal space ones, at least I think they're cool, that I've personally taken. And yeah, I plan on using those just kind of as images as I discuss the content for this video. Liminal space and burnout share a sense of in-betweenness and uncertainty, but they have different emotional textures and implications. Liminal spaces, whether physical, emotional, or psychological, represent transitional periods. They are the in-between moments where one phase has ended, but the next hasn't fully begun. Examples would be job transitions, company restructuring, project lulls, rumors of upcoming rifts and layoffs, and even post-burnout recovery. Emotionally, this can feel eerie, uncertain, and sometimes freeing or transformative. Liminality isn't necessarily negative, it can be full of potential and growth, but it's also often uncomfortable because of the ambiguity. Burnout, on the other hand, is a state of emotional, mental, and physical exhaustion caused by prolonged stress, often related to work or responsibilities. Unlike liminal spaces, which can be temporary and open-ended, burnout feels trapped, a state of depletion with little energy to move forward. Burnout lacks the sense of possibility that a liminal space might offer. Instead, it often feels like a dead end. So, what kind of overlap do these share? We've got emotional exhaustion, disorientation, and potential versus stagnation. Emotional exhaustion. Both can feel draining. Liminal spaces are more about uncertainty, which can lead to the lack of motivation with no clear path, so work feels aimless, while burnout is about overuse and depletion. Disorientation. Both can make you feel lost or untethered. However, liminality is about waiting for something new to emerge. Old routines don't apply and new ones haven't solidified, whereas burnout feels like something has been drained dry. Potential versus stagnation. Liminal spaces can hold possibility even if they feel unsettling. Burnout, however, often feels like being stuck in a cycle of depletion. So how do they interact? Someone going through burnout might enter a liminal space if they decide to step away and reevaluate their life, career, or purpose. Similarly, if someone is in a liminal phase too long without direction, they might feel burned out by the uncertainty. Disconnection from the past and the future. In liminal spaces, you feel detached from what was, but uncertain about what's next. In burnout, you may feel disconnected from your motivation, your goals, and even yourself. Both can create a sense of drifting, where you're neither fully present nor anchored in a clear direction. Emotional numbness. Liminality often carries an eerie, detached quality, like being in a dream. Burnout can make you feel emotionally blended, as if you're running on autopilot. Both states can make the world feel distant or surreal, as if you're watching life rather than living it. Loss of identity. In a liminal space, your old identity doesn't quite fit anymore, but the new one hasn't fully formed. In burnout, you may struggle to recognize yourself due to exhaustion or loss of purpose. Both can make you question, who am I now? Resistance to movement. Liminal spaces can make you feel stuck in transition, unsure of the next step. Burnout creates a paralysis of exhaustion where even small tasks feel overwhelming. In both cases, moving forward feels like wading through fog, uncertain, slow, and difficult. A need for transformation. Liminal spaces often demand that you embrace change to move forward. Burnout requires a fundamental shift, whether in workload, mindset, or priorities, to heal. Both signal that something has to give, that you can't return to the way things were. Quiet, lingering dread. Liminal spaces have an almost haunting quality, like waiting in an empty airport at 3 a.m. Burnout can feel like an endless cycle of fatigue with no clear way out. Both create a slow, creeping discomfort that's hard to name, but impossible to ignore. Final thought. Liminality and burnout aren't the same, but they overlap in how they make you feel disoriented, detached, and stuck between worlds. Both require a shift in perspective or a change in circumstances to escape. So, have you experienced liminality or burnout, either in your workplace or in your personal life? What kind of thoughts did you have? And what did you change, if anything, to change your perspective? But that's going to do it for this one. So stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next video.